Hello, boys, girls, and everything in between that I don't have time to mention. Welcome to True Urban Culture, where we bring the truth back to our urban culture. We are so excited to live in a post Kim Kanye world, and we have a great panel to share with you. First up, we have a pretty okay guy, I suppose, my man D Donnie, and we have our new guest host who's appeared before, but we're always happy to have her back, Miss Joe Jean. Now, as as is normal for a true urban culture's tradition, we're going to start with the mental health check-in. And Joe Jean's done this before, but let's remind her. First, we have the one, I want to die. Two, my life is pointless. Three, nothing matters. Four, my life sucks now. Five, whatever. Six, I'm content. Seven, I'm grateful. Eight, I'm in a good place. Nine, I'm excited about life. And 10, couldn't be better. Joanna, where are you on this scale?
Hello, everyone. Five.
Tell us more. Why, whatever?
I recently moved back down to my hometown from my college town. Like the end of July, and I had got a job for like a few weeks, and then I got fired after my manager cursed me out for not
What?
I guess submitting to something, and now I have to find a new job. So that's kind of
Wait,
annoying. Post
Wait, what do
grad
you
is weird, so
wait, like submit a document form or submitting to his
n-
will? What's going on?
submitting to like it was like he was just asking me like it was a hostess job at a restaurant. He was asking me to like tend to like the menus, but like there's someone that I work with, like she like gets flustered really easily and she was already mending to them and I was helping her anyway. But when he said to do that, I was like, "Oh yeah, so and so is handling it." Like just like in like a casual way. And then he like got really like I don't know. He brought it from like 0 to 100 like real quick and was like, "Oh, I'm your boss. When I tell you to do something, do it." Blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, I don't even know where this energy is coming from.
yeah,
And then like it just escalated into like a mini scene, and I was just telling him that like he didn't need to talk to me like that. And then he was just like, "I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. I don't give a fuck what goes on up there. I'm your boss. When I tell you to do something, do it. You can go home." And then when I was getting myself to go home, the other manager that gaslit the whole situation terminated me because he said that I wasn't getting along with everybody. So now I have to get a new job.
Sheesh, but at least you're out of what city did you hate before? Was it Houston?
Nah, I've never been to Houston. I was in Tallahassee though. I didn't like it.
Okay, right. We were talking shit about Tallahassee, so at least that's behind
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Right. South Florida has always been fun. It's my home, so that's why I put whatever because it's like, yeah, I'm not like upset at life, but I'm also just kind of like whatever. Like I
yeah.
need a
Going through
job,
the
you know.
motions. Yeah.
What's next
Yeah.
for you in terms of your professional life?
Well, right now, I'm taking my music seriously. Well, more seriously because I have like more free time to do it since I'm not in school. So I'm focusing on releasing new music. I should be coming out with two singles this year, and then like an EP. Hopefully, like the beginning of next year. I'm just like slow and steady wins the race. I am collabing with people down here doing local shows. So I've really just been enjoying that, like navigating like the art scene. And for journalism, I don't know. We all know how journalism is. I'm just waiting for someone in a company to just recognize my capabilities.
Nice, man. Nice. All right, Donnie. Hope you don't feel some type of way over having to come after all that success that was just spoken of. Don't feel like you have to compare yourself,
Yeah.
or
I was
don't
trying
feel
not
like you have to
Ah.
name drop something that's equally impressive for once.
to. uh, how I'm feeling. I'm content. I'm not happy. I'm not sad. Yeah. I mean, I'm content. I've been hanging a lot outside of like work and being more social. Something that goes against my nature. And yeah, that's it. basically.
How has that been for you? Like, what have you been doing to be more social?
Like I've usually I'll wait until people hit me up, but I've been actively hitting up other people. Like I'm not a bar type of person. I've been going to a lot of bars, getting slightly drunk, and just like being a lot more interactive with the outside world than I usually am. Usually I'm at home writing poetry and like just by myself in the city, but now I'm like actively like seeking like I guess you could say healthy relationships. And yeah, I'm on that type time. Oh,
Uh,
and poetry has been great. I've been writing nonstop for some odd reason. I'm not going to question it, but it's good right now.
I find it so
That's
adorable that you're
good.
vanilla about bars, but like sex clubs are just like all normal for you.
Oh, yeah, because in
Are
sex
those not good
clubs,
places to meet people?
no, I mean, I don't want to be cleaning myself up and be like, "Hey, do you want to get a scone tomorrow?" or
Ew.
something like that. It's just like I
That's
feel
too
like
graphic. Ask for falafel.
yeah, something like that. Like it's I'm there to hook up and get a release with other like-minded people. I'm not there to interconnect and wove and weave myself into their personal lives. Like I'm here to dominate you and go about my day.
Like, I'm glad you kept that as ambiguous as possible because Liddell is both curious and asking you to not go into detail. Pick one, Liddell. Pick one. But in any case, I am also I also say I'm pretty content. I just started a new job with a new company. It actually has benefits and like I'm in a union for once, so I'm just like, holy shit. Finding an
Sweet.
Cool.
environment where no one's trying to bust the union because we already know that funeral home was not it for me.
Right.
But no, yeah, I feel like a big kid now. Went out last night to celebrate, and I have a new type, and that type is a female lawyer, 100%. It's a
Really?
I thought
absolutely.
you
I
had a
bet.
girlfriend.
Oh no, we broke up a
No.
couple weeks
Yeah.
ago. Wait, a couple weeks? It's been like a month or two. How long has it been, Donnie?
Oh, I'm so
Like a
sorry.
month, a month.
A month? I thought it was two.
Are you
Whatever.
good?
Oh, I'm great.
How long
No,
were
I
you guys dating?
about 4 or 5 months, I'd say,
Excuse
through
me.
business school. But
Oh, it was short.
yeah, no, it's fine. I know they say it
Sounds
takes
more
like
like a
about
summer fling.
could be, that's what she said. But no, people say it takes the equal amount of time you've been in a relationship to recover for it, and I found that isn't quite true, honestly. If you, I don't know, feel like you connect with other people, and like Donnie, I am also someone who doesn't go to bars often, but I've went to a rooftop party last night because that's the only way to, I don't know, be social in New York in your
Yeah.
20s. But
I saw your Instagram story. I was like, wait, what is he doing at a rooftop bar? That is so unlike him.
I know, it really is. And then I just like hit up. There were like plenty of women there, and I don't know. I'm always after the professional. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's mommy issues, but I see a slightly rich lawyer over on the
Interesting.
corner sipping their drink and their martini. I'd be like, "Hey, how you doing?" But hey, guys, enough about me. We can move right on into our topic, and that is the Black Millionaire the new Messiah? And I just think that's great because, we're a Christian society and we look to minorities and women to be our saviors in a lot of different realms. So let's talk about the POC side of things. Essentially, our first question that I want to ask our gorgeous panel is, do you see societal issues being resolved by more POCs and women in positions of leadership? And I have my own thoughts about this, but I don't want to preface your thinking. Let's get this balls raw. Donnie, give it to us raw.
Actually, I want to hear Joe's answer
Oh,
because
fuck you, Donnie.
yeah,
Joe, how are you doing?
I mean she is the woman, and
Okay.
let's hear
Fuck
her.
you,
So,
Donnie.
can you
Joanna.
rephrase the question for me real quick?
Yeah, sure. So, do you see as, think of all the leadership positions in the world, think CEOs, think politicians, think of how good or bad of a job they're doing. Since the majority of them are just white men, do you think things would be better if they were replaced by black, brown, or female counterparts?
Uh, I think that if there's a balance, it could be better. Like it doesn't need to be saturated with um female POCs, but it also doesn't need to be saturated with white men. I feel that there needs to be just like a balance between like the demographics that we have like in our political offices and just like in every room, like even like in film and TV, like the writers room need to be less saturated with white people. Like companies, like the executive boards need to be less saturated with white people. Like I think in a global scale, like not even just in like politics but everywhere, like white people kind of like dominate like the rooms that like make the biggest decisions and the rooms that actually like sign the papers that affect everybody. And if you have like at least one to two people in that room that can, I hate to use the word diversity, but diversify it, then that can cater to like the actual masses, because the masses is not white people. The masses is like everybody. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying that like when it comes to leadership positions or the rooms making decisions in any given field, it should be represented over population demographics.
Yes.
So women are a good 50% of the pop. Let's say let's keep it simple. Women make up 50% of the population. Let's say
Oh, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I think your audio cut out.
Well, I mean, oh, every time I wiggle this thing, it can go mute. But
Oh, okay.
no more
Oh.
wiggling things. But okay, so women make up 50% of the U.S. population. Let's say I know African Americans definitely make up 12%. Do we like the term African American anymore? I feel like that's fallen out of favor.
I personally am not African American, so when people use that term, they're not talking about me. But when I say based off of population demographics, like it's definitely like something that's been going on over the years where white people are becoming the minority in America. But not even just in America, but like globally speaking, there needs to be a balance in the room. So there needs to be a 50-50. If there's four people that need to be on an executive board, there needs to be at least two men and two women. One of those women should be white, one should be black or Indian or Asian or some minority. And then out of the men, it should be vice versa. One should be white and the other should be a minority, because that's just how it works. White people are not minorities. So
I think they are global minorities if you think about it, because like if the biggest population centers are in Asia, and then you have Africa and South
in a
America.
socioeconomic way, they're not minorities.
Oh, that's what is expand.
I'm looking at it based off of like what you have access to, like accessibility. Like white people have more access to generational wealth. They have more access to liberty, more access to freedom on a global scale, not even just like nationally speaking, because they're white.
Oh, okay.
Like
So
the
you're
and the premise of that is racism.
Okay, so you're talking about equity then. All right. So if you believe that leadership positions would reflect those demographics you just talked about, we'd reach a higher state of global equity.
Yes.
Okay, Donnie, what do you think? Oh, actually, no, Donnie, I don't want to hear what you say. Liddell, what do you think? What do you think? Fucker.
um, back to the African American term. I will say I'm not African American. I am American, and I know Ladella's going to get on me for that. Just
I,
just another checklist to add to
I
the
see him typing.
my black card, if he wants to call it. But yeah, I do think.
Oh, look at that. He agrees with it.
Oh,
Liddell's agreeing.
surprise, surprise.
Hmm.
I do agree with what Joe said. Like there should be an equal amount of people of color and women in leadership. I'm not going to necessarily say that they might do a better job, but I do think they have a broader understanding of how the world works as opposed to your rich old white guy who has been in the Senate for like years or Congress or whatever you want to call it. But I do think all those people need to go. Um, they've been here since the birth of the fucking nation, and we are now moving more progressively, and there needs to be causes for a change. and they're not willing to do any of that.
Are you saying this world needs to be cleansed with flames or something?
I won't say that
Holy
because
crap, you didn't say no. You heard it here first, folks.
I won't say that, but I have been saying for years that regardless of who you are, if you're sitting in the Senate seat or the Congress seat, you need to be removed peacefully. That's all it is. And we need to have a new election for every single position. Because these guys that's sitting on this board for decades, they're not going to change their minds.
Yeah, I feel you.
And
Like,
they're not going to be voted out, obviously, mostly in red states. But yeah, it doesn't matter, Democrat or Republican. If you're old and white, you need to be removed, have a new election, and start from there.
no, I feel you. I feel like Supreme Court justices have way too long of a tenure. Like Bader Ginsburg, who
I
everyone
agree.
loved and whatnot, was like she got her job until she died, and that was
Yeah,
how she got out of it. And then there was a whole thing about appointing a new person who was like Republican, but people wanted to wait till the next presidential election. No, 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 no. When the president's gone, everyone he elects is gone, please. But
yeah, it's
Yeah.
that's the thing. I just don't understand how these like guys keep getting reelected. Like Mitch McConnell's been in there for a while, and he's on his what like third, fourth term or something like that.
mm,
And it's just like they're not going to leave in an election, so they need to be all removed, and we need to do a hard reset.
you think that'll solve everything, and that if those old white men are replaced by a more diverse group, you think everything would be, closer to what Joanne was saying about global equity or domestic equity?
I won't say it'll automatically be better because we still have a whole bunch of shit within our own society, apart from politics, but it will be the change that we need. I think you'll see a lot more people being engaging in our politics because I know for the past few years since Trump was elected, I've been more involved in politics and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I think it just gives our government a new face and a new chance to reinvent themselves.
Interesting. No, so what basically I already told you guys before the podcast what inspired this question, but like I'll tell for our audience's sake and I'll try to keep it short. I remember the I think it was the Malaysian prime minister who was herself a woman, and it was like really breaking grounds because this was a Muslim majority country in the developing world that just elected a female prime minister, and she won like a host of awards just for being who she was, I believe. And she made some good policy decisions too that like further reinforced it. And like people were like, "Girl boss, yeah." But then the Rohingya Muslim genocide happened, I believe. And I might have this wrong. Maybe I don't think in Malaysia is even a majority Muslim country actually. But in any case, this prime minister who I'm thinking of, and maybe it's not Malaysia, but she had a direct cause in the Rohingya genocide, and that like she oversaw a lot of the authorities that were leading to all these people dying, like this complete genocide. You can't call it anything else. And like everyone formerly was like saying she was such a prominent liberal sign of progression, but she is with like World War II tactics of genocide basically.
Yeah,
So it's like she's a woman, she is a non-white person, and she's still making the same mistakes or even being just as evil as her counterparts are. So I hope it made a lot of people think that like sometimes when you plug in your favorite color, your favorite gender, things won't automatically change unless there's also a learning curve. Because notice how all these like countries that were once imperialized are the new imperialists, like China with Tibet, and in a way now Africa in some ways, even though it's not so like outright. So it's like people think they putting this happy face on all these like cold positions that are notorious for human rights violations will automatically wipe the slate clean. So yeah, I feel some type of way about it, but like honestly, I feel like there definitely needs to be a learning curve, and that like certain populations need to, you know, be educated on a new curriculum that's not ridden by their old white predecessors, essentially. So that's my
I think
thoughts on it.
another
Yep, go
I
for it.
think another problem is that like and people do the same thing with celebrities. Like people think just because like someone is like the same race or gender as you or even has the same body type as you, like they have to, because they have a platform, they have to be like the face of that gender or the face. They
Yes.
like they do the same thing with Lizzo. Like every time
Yes.
Lizzo breathes, they're like, "Oh my gosh, you hate us because you're
Yes.
drinking a smoothie," or "You hate us because," and it's just like she is not the face of anything. She is a human that is also an artist, and I think that's the issue with people. They're like, "Yeah, like we need a female president because blah 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 blah," and it's like those same females that are running for a government office are the same people that are going to make amendments and acts that literally go against your own rights. Just because they're a woman does not mean that they have your best interest in right, because it's like you said earlier, every like we all come from different backgrounds, we all live in different environments, and like that perpetuates our thinking, that perpetuates like the kind of mentality that we have, and like our outlook on the world. So it's like you can't look at someone that might look like you and think that they're going to think like you don't know where they're from and you don't know where they're going. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
because
saying?
I'll be the first one to say President Obama ain't do shit for me. I'm gonna be straight
I
up, and that's what I say in my
I feel
circles.
like at this point only white liberals still like Obama.
Yeah,
I've never met anyone like actually saying like he was a damn fine president for
yeah,
bailing out
like
all those banks.
like
No one's
he
saying
had the
that.
charisma and style and flair, and he was likable. But let me be honest, I was still struggling with rent back in those years, so he ain't do shit for me.
I bet. I
Right.
mean, I feel like his
Exactly.
healthcare reforms were fairly okay, like a step in the right direction, but god damn those premiums. Holy shit. But like you fucked up, man.
Yeah,
And it's
gas was like insane during his presidency.
gas is insane now. I pay $50.
What car do
I
you drive?
I mean I drive a Jeep, but it wasn't even an
That's
empty tank.
why.
It wasn't an
That's
empty
why.
tank. I'm in the city
That's
and
why.
I don't want to get off topic because we got to move on. But holy shit, I was like, did we not just finish invading the Middle East? What the fuck was this all
What
for?
the
Why are
fuck
you
was it
even
all for?
driving if you live in New York?
Oh, so I live on like the uptown of New York, which is close to the Bronx, and in this
Okay.
area you definitely need a car. And like I'm trying to drive out in New York now, but
Okay.
yeah, get Fidelis, thanks, Liddell. But yeah, I'll move on. But I just want to tell you guys that last yesterday my dad showed me a YouTube video of a Mexican politician in the Conservative Party who was a woman herself, and she was just going buck wild over the nomination of some like indigenous woman as someone in the, I believe, the Mexican Senate. And it's like I always everyone always associates Mexico would be like majority indigenous, but what they have is a ruling white party, and you can see that in their television and whatnot. And this woman is going ballistic over the thought of an indigenous woman being in politics, as if she didn't have any right to, given that she represents a majority of population. I hate Telemundo, but based on Liddell's thing, but no, yeah, and it sucked because she was her whole argument was like, why would you pinpoint her when there are these two, three women that are much better choices and would forward the feminist movement? And I'm like, how can you be a feminist and racist? Pick one. You're like
Right?
three. You're
Like
four waves
what?
behind. You're four waves behind, bitch. What the hell? But yeah, fuck yeah. No, that's just like I swear. She's still in power somehow. She is still in power. But anyway, let's move on to the next question, and we'll take it to a place of finance because I'm a business major. I took like two finance classes. I got flex that. But let's focus this on financial affluence. And is financial affluence the answer to our community's problems? Like, I remember people. One of the biggest reasons people were so upset about Nipsey's death was particularly because he was doing so much for his community with the wealth he accumulated in his rap career. But I feel like people but it kind of paint him as this guy. If he were still alive, things would be much better, and if there are more people like him, things would be much better. Do you believe that all it takes to fix the problems in communities is someone with a deep pocket and a open wallet?
No, I think it's way deeper than that. I think it's about like the community's mentality. Like on an individual level, people should be investing and redirecting their wealth. You can't wait for your homie to blow up with his rap career and then come back to the hood and then redisperse his wealth so y'all can
Especially if
eat
his
too.
shit is
You
trash.
Right, like you guys need to be redispersing your own wealth. Like you need to be making the effort to educate yourselves so individually and collectively your community is bringing in more revenue. Start your own businesses. Like learn what it takes to buy the land to have a storefront for your business or doing it in-house. Like it just takes effort, and I feel that um like a lot of black people in America use being black as a crutch to not like
Yes.
put in the effort to be financially literate, to be financially stable. They're like, I'm black and like the government, blah 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 blah. So I deserve all these resources and I just deserve God to just like send down these reparations whenever that's never gonna happen. And it's like you need to take the step on your own, like it's your own wealth. Like you have to do that. Like no one can do that for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I see it.
Donnie hit us with a fat opinion already.
Oh,
You need me to wait and say your turn, Donnie?
yeah.
Come on, be your own man.
Because I was taking in what Joe said about it. Yeah, I agree. I've said it on Out of Bounds podcast. It's black people have this victim mentality that just been plaguing them for years. And yes, I get all the shit that we went through and all that stuff, but now it's time to like grow, invest in your own communities. I don't think you have to be a millionaire or you need to be somebody of social status because Will Smith ain't do shit for the city and fucking Kevin Hart ain't do shit for the city. The only one I know is Meek Mills, who like donates regularly and hands out
Mm,
backpacks at the beginning of the school year. So that's because he's from the hood, like he's like in the hood. But no, I don't think you have to like be a certain status. You can literally do anything.
Hmm.
I agree.
I kind of want to push back in a way because, like, I have some thoughts about like the idea of capitalism and whatnot, and like how you can use it the system that oppresses you as a system that also liberates you. And like here's the thing, like I'm all for like communities and like self improvement. I'm all for like pulling up the bootstraps, as they say, and like making something of yourself, not being dependent on anyone else, like knowing that you will take care of you at the end of the day. Like I'm totally with it. But like the thing is, oftentimes when you build yourself up, there's always some force to peg you back down. And for me, that oftentimes is the U.S. government, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Because okay, it's common knowledge that like all the alphabet agencies like distributed crack into the black communities when the Black Panthers were showing that they were capable of organizing on a large scale. And now they're releasing reports, I think in like actual mainstream outlets, that the Black Lives Matter movement, for example, was being undermined by federal agencies. Like they were sending people in using the same tactics they've done for centuries, where they like would incite violence and make the movement look bad. Essentially, playing both fields. Like on one hand, they're saying, "Oh yeah, right-wing terrorists are the worst threat to America," but now they're also infiltrating these leftist movements as well, kind of keeping everyone down itself. So I feel
Yeah.
like how much can you build yourself before that force let's say it's not even the US government, because like with Nipsey it wasn't that, it was just haters in his own community doing that. How much can you build yourself up before something or someone pegs you back down, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah, that was a question.
Um
I was looking for greens. Tell me, guys, tell me what is there to do?
Well, you're saying this in like reference to capitalism specifically, or
It does, I make that mistake by saying capitalism is the only force that we need to fight against and blah blah blah. But that's not true. I'm not even that much of an anti-capitalist. It's more like this monetary system that was like built on the backs of minorities, slaves, who I love you. It just seems to me like so ironic that we're all trying to get rich in the same ways that the people who oppressed us tried getting rich. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. That's
How's
why
that
I
not a
think.
self-eating system?
But I feel like our generation is kind of changing now. Like I don't think that we're trying to get rich in the ways that the people before us try getting rich. Like I feel like there's more, like there's digital currency now, like, and that wasn't a thing like 60 years ago. Like people didn't have bitcoin and all these like, like penny stocks and day trading. And that's another way to redirect your wealth and like invest and like, grow your finances as well. I think that currently there's more opportunities and there's more resources, but you need to be in an environment that is like you need, like, if you don't know about that, then you don't know about that. And like you can't beat yourself up, or no one can beat you up for not knowing something, and no one can beat you up for not going out of your way to know something when you don't even know where to start to know what you need to know. And I think that's the problem with the black community, is like a lot of people don't even know where to start.
All
And it's
right,
like if they had like a better stepping stone, then it would be easier for them to start.
right.
But in reference to capitalism though, like that's like a whole different conversation, because I personally am not like a huge fan of capitalism, just because I haven't seen anyone do it in a way that was ethical.
Hmm.
So
No, that's the thing. So in the first part of your argument, you're saying that people are accumulating wealth ethically. Can you expand on how a person can do that? Like, become rich
no, I'm
in
not
this
saying that
current
people are
system?
doing it ethically. I'm saying that people are doing it, like there's different avenues than there were like 60, 80 years ago.
Okay.
Like it's more than just like applying for a job and putting in those hours and getting a paycheck. It's like I said already, like you have digital currency like NFTs. Like artists are literally making like thousands of dollars by like bidding graphic art on the internet. Like there's so much internet money going on right now, and I feel like that's just like a really huge market that a lot of people in the black community like haven't tapped into. But like people in other communities have already been tapped into like for years.
Hmm. Okay, so you're saying that there's more diverse ways to like
Yeah.
establish wealth and like uh gain it, but do you feel so there are these things called like negative externalities that whenever you have a new innovation, there's like some outcome that you didn't plan for that can oftentimes be bad. Do you see like and this is a question for both of you before we move on. Do you guys see like all these new avenues for wealth as having their own harmful negative externalities? Like what jumps up into mind is like
Yes.
Joanna mentioned that like Bitcoin is like or in cryptocurrency is a really great way to like make some wealth in ways that are untraditional, but like as Tesla's founder Elon Musk stated not too long ago, and why he pulled out in Bitcoin investment was that like it's very bad for the environment. Like all that Bitcoin mining and electricity and all of those electro dams are just like absolutely awful. So,
This
well, what are
fucking
your
guy.
guys' thoughts about that?
I definitely agree. I think at the end of the day, like it's about what battle, it's about picking your battles, and you're going to have to pick what battle you want when it comes to the way that you want to grow your wealth. If that battle is, stressing your mind and your body out, working for the man, doing the 9 to 5 shit, working somewhere that you don't even like, that's your battle. If your battle is, um, perpetuating or promoting the continuation of, like you just said, Bitcoin mining and other environmental unethical acts of ways of like getting wealth, then that's your battle. Like it's about like what battle do you want? Is your battle exploiting child labor? Is your battle exploiting um, indigenous people that work in different countries so you don't have to outsource workers in your own country and pay people more even though you have the money to pay people more? So I think, what are your morals like when it comes to like making money. It's about where your morals are. And it, like, as trivial as it sounds, it's like when people talk to strippers. They're like, "Oh my gosh, like I could never be a stripper." And it's like it's about your morals, like this idea of that like you have to like be so morally just to not be a stripper. But at the end of the day, like people that are strippers are still people that are making money. Like it's still a job. Like what do you want? Do you want to work at Hooters or do you want to work at Wells Fargo?
Some people do both.
Some people do both. And
Some
like
people
your
do.
morals play into that. Your morals play into that because if you get really deep, it's like you know like all these companies like all of them like they play a part in like the issues that exist in our communities. So it's like when you get really deep into like the company you're working for, it's like who do you want on that check when you go and you cash it out? Like who do you want representing your finances for the time being? Do you want it to be you? Do you want to start up your own business? Do you want to be self-employed? Like what do you want? Because at the end of the day, like I agree, like there's always going to be like some form of unethical practice tied to the way that you're making money some way somehow, just because most of the shit that we do isn't even natural anyway. So it's like,
How do you feel about that, Nani? You publishing all those books, wasting all that paper, killing them trees.
Yeah, for what?
For
So I
what,
could be
Dottie?
buried with it.
For what?
Uh, I do think with any new avenue of income and financial gain, there's going to be what you said. What was it again?
Negative externality.
Yeah, negative externality. I think that comes with anything. I'm last time I checked, I'm pretty sure the government is looking to put a handle on Bitcoin and stuff like that.
India bandit.
Yeah, so it's I think you just do your research and be cautious. I do think it's funny that Elon Musk is now pulling out of Bitcoin.
Yeah, he has his own motives for
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah,
He
exactly.
has, I mean, he's right about it being like bad environmentally, but he fucked a lot of people over
Yeah,
because he got them on that train and he pulls out at the last minute by not allowing Bitcoin to be like a form of payment on one of his
yeah,
websites or something, and he just fucked the market for a lot of people. But again, if you put all your money in Bitcoin, you shouldn't be investing anyway. You know what I mean?
exactly. Like, come on.
Yeah,
So,
like diversity is good for your classrooms, it's good for your portfolio. What can I
yeah.
say? But
So,
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So, I think you just got to be mindful of anything new and just be able to adapt. That's
Yeah,
all it is. I mean,
yeah,
there's always going to be that opposing force.
yeah, man. It's sometimes a catch 22. And before I move on, I just want to say like when Joanna brought up the Hooters comment, I just remembered like this forum I once got into about people like shitting all over the polygraph test that they have to go through in like the Secret Service or FBI before getting hired. And one guy was like, "You guys are fucking idiots. My friend lied through that whole thing and got accepted and is now an agent. She also goes on Craigslist and sells herself as a prostitute every two days out of the week. So if she can do it, you can do it. So stop pissing yourselves." And I just thought that was wild. That fucking FBI agent by day, prostitute by night. That is just that's a movie
That's
right
a
there.
TV show. Yeah.
Yeah. In any case, let's move on to minorities specifically. And we have a lot of thoughts about the rich people in our lives, particularly, the celebrities we have to deal with and who we aspire to be like. So, in your opinion, how have rich minorities disappointed or inspired you? And what would you have done with their wealth or in their position?
I wouldn't say any rich minority disappoints me.
How have they
Because
inspired you? Two-parter, man.
I don't think anybody in. All right, I guess you can say Donald Glover. He has inspired me a lot.
Oh, come on.
But I necessarily don't consider him like that rich minority because he just recently blew up. Um, but I don't know. It's the fact that most people look up to these celebrities and these icons and stuff like that is I just don't understand it. So that's
Mhm.
why I'm like, I can't be disappointed in some rich minority, but I will be inspired by like Donald Glover on the other side of that. Like a lot of the things that he do is something that I inspire to be and try to like base my life around. So I will say that I am inspired by him, but if he was to disappoint me, then I'm pretty sure I will find some logical way to excuse his transgressions. So
What the fuck? Donald Glover killed 5 children in a drunk driving
yeah, but did
accident.
he do it for an
Donnie on
album
CNN
or a
being like,
screen?
"It's I."
Oh
Oh,
my
you
gosh, for
terrible
the sake of
person.
art. Did he do it for the sake of art?
Right, yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Okay, let's say you were one day awarded his wealth and fame. What would you do with it, Donnie?
I know this is gonna sound like such bullshit, but I would literally give it all the way. I'll go give it all away
To what?
to anybody that I come across on the street, anybody that asks me for $1, I would give them $1,000. Like pack of cigarettes. How about I buy you steak in the company? It's like I'm such a giving person that it's like, because I've been on the other side of it. I've came into money like 18,000 to be exact last year, and I still wanted to try to commit suicide. So I've seen the other side of it. Money is not everything, and I've always been that way of just giving it out. So, like I said, it wouldn't change me. Like I know how people say money changes your values and stuff. Like it wouldn't change me because I would just continuously give it all away.
Before I move on to Joanna, I just kind of want to push back on that. I feel like people think that the only good thing to do with money is to be charitable. You know what I mean? Like, give it away, give it to charities. But the charity system in the world is just fucked up. It's just
Oh,
off.
yeah, let me clear it up. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
please
give
do.
it to like charities or anything like that.
Mm.
I would just give it to like random people that I pass on the street.
Uh,
Like if I'm a singer, like in the aspect of Donald Glover, I would perform in the subways, like parks, just because I wanted to, just for the love of what I'm doing. Like I wouldn't give it to like, oh, let me donate so and so to AIDS, or let me donate so and so to HIV, or Black Lives Matter, or any of the bullshit charities. I would literally give it all away. I would go into like the cancer center or something like that, and I would give the person the money. Like I
oh, okay.
wouldn't,
So you're
yeah,
selective about who you'd give it to, because
yeah,
like I was thinking like, what if you pass like Jake Gyllenhaal on the street? Would you give him all
no,
your millions? Like,
fuck him.
right?
But like,
Like,
yeah,
gotta be
normal
selective.
citizens, like normal everyday people, it's just, hey, here's $10,000, here's $20,000. It's
Shit. I can't wait to give you guys my answer because it is nothing like that.
uh,
But before we move on to Joanna, for the sake of educating our audience, oftentimes those philanthropists you hear about are only doing it for the tax incentives they get off of donated charities. Like I remember I learned this because someone insulted another person by saying, "I get a tax reductible or whatever it's called just from hanging out with you. You're so fucking pathetic." But yeah, it was right. Right. I was like, "Oh
shit.
shit."
That's
I was
some
ready
shit
to
you
cry.
gotta go home and think about.
Right? But I get tax deductible from hanging out with you. Yeah, that was it.
Damn.
But oh, I just died. But yeah, honestly, they're not doing it for good reason. But let's forget that for a second. Let's say they're still donating to charity. Most of that money is used to pay the people in that charity, and very few charities, very few times does the money actually end up helping the people who's aimed to be. Like all those charities in fucking Haiti after all those earthquakes, after all those storms, it ends
Right.
up in the pockets of politicians, the people who
Puerto
have to
Rico
receive.
is still like torn, right, from the hurricane a couple of years ago.
Yeah, they have terrible infrastructure, and they have other people ruling their island essentially, like that the USA imposed to like manage their debt crisis because they can't afford to pay back anything. So they don't really. It's not a country. It's not a state. It's nothing. It's basically a territory. I don't know why people still want to live there. You're not, you That's why so many Puerto Ricans live outside the island rather than on the island. It's not a country. Like sometimes I question why we still like call Puerto Ricans like Latin Americans when they are owned by the U.S. and whatnot. Like yes, you speak Spanish, but so does Spain. We don't call them Latin Americans. But yeah, but whatever. Joanna, what's your idea about Do you have any rich minorities that inspire, disappoint you? And regardless of your answer, what would you do in their position with their fame and money?
Um, like she's not like an idol to me or anything, but sometimes like Beyonce disappoints me. I think like just like when we were talking about earlier with like the whole Tiffany Diamonds thing. I
Yeah,
don't
tell
know.
us
I
about
just
that.
feel
Tell us
like
about that.
you. I feel like you're at such a place of status, like you should like know certain things. You should know like the social implications with working with some of the companies you work with. I also feel like I don't know. It's just weird because it's just like there's such exclusivity with her brand, and it's cool, but it's just kind of like you're
With Ivory
already like a
Park.
huh?
Could you tell us what's going on with that controversy? Actually, like inform our audience. What is the Tiffany brand diamond controversy regarding to Beyonce? Like, give us the 411.
Oh, I can't give the best 411 because
That's
I've
fine.
been hearing about it word of mouth. But what I do know is that they are doing like a campaign with them, but that company is like considered unethical because of the whole blood diamond thing, and also just
Mm,
diamonds in general. Like, diamond mining and gold mining is really unethical because of the environmental factors that affect the communities that live around these mines anyway. But when you have money, like, you don't care about that. Like, you want to have all that stuff because it's like, for some reason, like, that's like a part of like solidifying that you're where you're at. Like, I have all this bling, I have all these watches, I have all these chains. It's like I got it like that. But we're not looking at how the people that are around these areas that literally see like the beginning process before you get this chain on your neck. We're not seeing how that affects them, and I've seen that like firsthand, like in person. Like when I was studying abroad in Thailand, we went to an area that was affected by a gold mine, and they had like arsenic in their water, and it was just really bad. And you think like, dang, like maybe I don't want to go to the pawn shop and get that necklace that says my name on it. um but that's just like the 411 I know on that situation. I can't go too much into detail. I probably will be able to in like a minute, just from researching it a little bit. But personally, like using her as an example, like that's kind of disappointing just because it's like I feel like I don't know, just you're at this high place. Like, it's weird because it's like these people shouldn't, like, just because she's black and rich or she's a woman or she's anything doesn't mean she should be doing anything ethically. But because you have your own set of morals, and you live the life the way you want the people that you look up to that are celebrities, like it's like this subconscious thing where it's as if like you want them to be like-minded so you can like them more. And
Yeah.
then when they're not, it's like you get disappointed because it's like you romanticize this connection that you have with this person that you don't even know, just to make it feel better, the fact that like you like them. And then when they do something you don't like, you're like, oh my god, like you turn into like this bandwagon. And someone that does inspire me, Childish Gambino does inspire me, Donald Glover. So it's interesting that you brought him up. Like, Issa Rae inspires me, and these are people, like, they may not be like filthy rich, but like they're comfortable, and like i
Yeah.
i, I want to be comfortable, and I also want to be like a mogul like they are. So it's like they are inspirations to me because it's like they're comfortable, they're media moguls, and they're not, from what I know, doing anything like unethical. And I feel like, I might not know them on a personal level, but just romanticizing this individual, I feel like, we like are on the same wavelength in that way. And I think that's what people want. They just want to it's like you're humanizing these people but also dehumanizing them at the same time. 'Cause it's like, oh my gosh, like you want them to like think like you, but then if they don't, it's like, oh my gosh, fuck you, which can be dehumanizing because
All
everyone
right.
has everyone's different.
All right. So let's say you woke up as Beyonce one day, or you woke up with all her rich and fame. What would you do with the money?
Like the first thing I would do, or like in general.
In general, what kinds of better yet, what kinds of things would be you be doing with her position, her status, her fame, her wealth?
Well, she does philanthropy. So I would, do that. I would do philanthropy. I know like when I get to a certain like place in my wealth, I want to do philanthropy just because, like I just that's just the kind of person I am. It's kind of like a why not kind of thing. Like why would I not want to help communities that I can help with my money? Why would I not want to volunteer and give back to my community?
It
So
seems
I would
so
definitely do
easy.
philanthropy.
It seems so
Yeah,
easy,
I'm
but a
making it.
lot of
I'm making
celebrities
it
don't.
sound easy, but I know it's not. It's still a lot of work. But yeah, that's what
Well,
I would. That's what I would want to do.
all right, all right. Shit. No, because I was telling you guys about before the podcast started about Beyonce's not my answer, but I also see like a lot of issues with her, particularly that she like benefits from third world labor, and not just blood diamonds. And if anyone wants to learn more about the blood diamond industry and what she's talking about, I would highly recommend you Google it and find out for yourself. But if you need like a cheap action thriller, that'll give you the 411. There's a great Leonardo DiCaprio movie set in Sierra Leone called Blood Diamond, and it tells you how harsh and brutal and how like that industry like helped fuel the civil war going on there, which involved child soldiers, every possibly bad thing you could think about in war. But no, yeah, so great answers, guys. Honestly, there's really no one I admire or disappoint or really disappoints me because after I learned that Gandhi was sexist, pedophile, racist, I figured that like literally you look into anyone and eventually everything you believe about them will tumble. So
Oh yeah,
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 luckily I learned that like not to build these people up in the first place. But I'm kind of disappointed by lately I've been disappointed by like Elon Musk and Grimes particularly. Grimes more than Elon because Elon just seems like a cold,
yeah.
calculating pragmatist that's just after his own wealth. But Grimes being like the do-it-yourself artist who's now just constantly just excusing his behavior and whatnot. That really kind of disappoints me. Liddell says he was born on the same day as Gandhi. It's okay. Just don't be like Gandhi, Liddell. You don't have all of his qualities. Maybe some, not all. But but no, yeah. But let's see, what would I do with the rich and the wealth and fame of all these celebrities we just mentioned? Honestly, I would probably not do philanthropy or charity or anything. I already listed a bunch of reasons why those end up not being very good, and how it like always ends up in the pockets of some form of corrupt leadership. If anything, I would probably move back to maybe like a country in the Caribbean, like buy up a bunch of land, buy up a bunch of houses, become kind of a lord, essentially rise in the political scene, so get as
right.
far as I can, and like use my influence to promote like infrastructure and like the raising of the
That's still
standard of living.
philanthropical though. I
It,
still see that as philanthropy.
Kinda, but like a philanthropist is particularly someone who doesn't themselves do the work. Like they're only people who donate to that causes. Like I wouldn't be giving to a charity or giving to a cause particularly. I'd be using my wealth to create more wealth, and
So
then
just a new form of philanthropy.
it's not really a new form because this is like rich people establish themselves in the community and then build up their power base, get into politics, and then like push funding for like infrastructure and military and schooling and education. Um, yeah, I wouldn't exactly call it philanthropy because you're not like donating directly to a cause. You're just using your money for more power, more influence, and doing some good along the way. But it's mostly. Let me be clear. I want to be a dictator. I want to be a dictator, Donnie. You brought it on me. I'll be a
All right.
dictator of a Caribbean country. I'm gonna come in and
You're
act
one
all
step
nice
away from
and
the Elon Musk
and
rocket.
I'm gonna build so many schools, and the people will love me. They'll love me, okay? And then they'll vote for me, and then they'll never say no to anything I want to do.
I mean,
Yeah.
overbuilt the schools, so I'm not sure how that's working out, but I heard it's been a success so far.
Mm. Where did she build the schools?
Africa?
Oh, which country?
Good question. I think Nigeria.
Oh, Nigeria's always been doing great. Is
Yeah,
she?
like what?
Nigeria's great.
Like
What? That's weird. Evan. Let me build some schools in these successful African countries.
out of all the
Yeah,
countries in Africa, Nigeria.
I don't know. I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's Nigeria.
What? Does she have like
Not saying that
roots in
there's not parts of
Nigeria?
Nigeria that need
No,
special
I think
schools,
it's a
but
school for women. Um,
Oh,
yeah.
what?
So
that's
She,
nice.
she should have chose
so I
Wakanda.
could be wrong, but I think it was a country where
Wrong.
a lot of yeah, like Joe said, I'm probably wrong. It was a country
Okay.
where a lot of women weren't being able to get education and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I
that's
don't
why
think
she
that
built it.
doesn't
So
sound like Nigeria.
Yeah, like I said,
Okay,
Wakanda.
yeah, Wakanda. It wasn't Wakanda. You, oh my God, no, no, because like Nigeria, I just want to like brag about Nigeria. Like, they're saying Nigeria in a couple years, in a lot of West African countries, are gonna be like what Germany is today. Like, that is amazing to think about,
yeah.
honestly. Like, holy shit. But yeah, no,
South Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah, Meyerton, Gate South Africa boarding school.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, South Africa's a fucking mess. Actually, maybe we do need to give color because they're going through riots. Because like, God,
Yeah.
I could spend the podcast talking about this. So essentially, after Nelson Mandela, the party he represented got like, it's still an African, indigenous African party, but a new tribe took over that's not associated with Nelson Mandela's tribe, and like basically all they did in changing things was make a couple more black people rich, but leaving everything the same. And there are just so many like race riots going on that people are literally, the white people especially, are leaving the country one after one because all the government does is say, "Oh, everything that's our bad is the fault of these white people right here." And it's like, yeah, sometimes it's true, but like, it is a mess. So yeah, I guess it makes sense that she put schools there. Maybe a couple tribes are still
I
anti.
mean, it's a private school.
Oh,
That strikes me a little bit.
what the fuck, oh, bro?
I
Go
mean,
to
it's okay.
Somalia or something.
Yeah, private boarding school, and the
Oh,
conditions weren't that good,
uh,
apparently.
fucking Oprah, man. Well, Liddell says private schools are great, and as someone who's only ever gone to private school,
I don't know
depends.
about that because people that go to private schools, like they're like socially impaired.
Oh, we
Oh my
absolutely are,
god.
100%. I went to an old boys' school. Like,
Yeah,
holy shit, what were they
they
thinking?
are
It
socially
was just a
impaired.
factory line of
like,
socially awkward idiots. Even our football starts were weird, but
like,
no, man, and Catholic private schools. Like, I think about my high school wasn't that bad. We were all nice. There were really no problems. It was an all boys school, but other than that, there were really no problems. But my elementary school was fucking ass. I almost want to name drop how ass it was. We had these two mean ass nuns who just were like little dictators, and were probably so mad that they couldn't hit kids anymore. So they just made your life a literal hell. Because what I feel bad for priests and nuns because when you go your entire life without sex, I feel like it comes out as anger in different parts of your life.
bro, like
Uh,
literally,
Like, bro, I think I
like,
want sometimes I want to tell my local priest like, "Yo, just get some ass and get off my ass, bro."
like for one night,
Yeah, but just one night, God, Jesus, just go to communion or something. I don't know how Christianity works, but
not communion.
no confession, whatever. I'm not a Catholic anymore. I don't care.
can this might be a little off topic, but
Go for it.
can you go to a confessional if you're not religious?
A
Because
confessional.
I always
Yeah,
always want
Oh,
to do that.
um, you mean religious? You have to be baptized within that church in order to like take part of their confession. Like, can you go there without believing in it?
Like
Yes, but
say
you also have to be
after
baptized.
yeah, say after this podcast, I'm like, I got some things I want to get off my chest that I did a couple of nights ago.
You gotta get baptized as a Catholic first, and I think you
Fuck.
need to commit. But here's the thing: like
What
you
you
are
really
a
need to do is go to a therapist.
yeah, I agree with that too. But
Yeah, but I have the podcast, so why would I pay money to listen to some old white lady tell me
Jesus
something
Christ,
that I already know?
She can
should
be a
I
young
charge
black lady
you?
too, and a young black man. There's
No, I have
He
an
thinks he's in
issue.
The Sopranos. He thinks he's in The
I have an
Sopranos with the old
issue
white
with
therapist.
therapists and stuff like that. Every single therapist that I had given to me by the DHS has either left, transferred, or been promoted. So that's why I have trust
well, why do you
issues.
keep getting therapists from the DHS?
Because I was in DHS at the time.
Yeah, this wasn't really a choice for
So
him. He kind of got what he could.
Exactly.
I'm like, get a
Um,
therapist that's not in that.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
But why would I
I'm
do that when
excited right
there's
now.
yeah,
whiskey and rum?
but here's the thing, like, so you definitely
Okay,
have to be baptized
problematic
in the
Sunday.
church to do it, but like, you don't have to believe because after you're baptized, you are a Catholic for life. It doesn't matter if you're an atheist. All you are is a bad Catholic. You know what I mean? You
Right.
once you're in, you're in. Like you have to be. The Pope has to kick you out. He's the only one who can do it. I forget what it's called. Not decommission, like debaptized, some stupid shit. I don't give a fuck about the Pope, but and I've been trying my hardest to get him to notice me and kick me out, but he is not listening to my letters. But
Oh
yeah,
my
fuck. What's it?
gosh.
What
so
excommunicated? That's what it's called.
so
But
once you're baptized, you're
you're in for
automatically
life.
part of the church.
You're Catholic for life. It doesn't matter what you do unless you piss off the Pope enough
But
and he
how
excommunicates you.
like how do they like track that? Like how do they keep tabs on you?
Oh, they don't keep tabs necessarily. You mean like keep tabs on your behavior and find that did he do something that's
Yeah,
worth
like do they hop out
excommunication?
of like a white van with a cross and just like
Yeah, yeah, the Pope
nuns?
mobile. No, no, no. I mean, if it's bad enough, the Pope will hear about it because you probably did some shit that put you on the news. You know what I
Oh
mean?
shit.
That's how bad it has to be. It's not like I had sex before marriage. You're out. You're out. Like
Oh, okay, all right. I thought they
there's
like
that.
stood a room after
You
post.
gotta do you gotta do some crazy shit to be excommunicated. I mean, usually it's like declaring yourself as a pope. It can be petty shit like declaring yourself as a pope or like being a priest and teaching the wrong kind of doctrine will do it. But otherwise, like genocide, maybe. But that's a 50-50 because the Pope liked Mussolini and I think he was
That's
okay
really
with Hitler.
extreme.
I know, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's what it takes. I mean, usually I'm just sending hate letters to the Pope and being like, "Yo, fuck your white ass, you stupid Argentinian.
Come
I
on,
hate."
he's. I mean, I'm not a religious guy, but we can't talk about the Pope on a
Fuck,
podcast like this.
fuck
I
that
mean,
dude. He protects pedophiles. Talk all you like. I give you my
oh,
blessing as
okay,
a Catholic to talk
yeah.
shit about the Pope. That fuck that dude. He's from Argentina, really?
As a Catholic that's trying to get excommunicated, so
Honestly, but it's
tread
still a
lightly.
Catholic. Still a Catholic. Still, I'm just a bad Catholic, but I'm still a Catholic, no matter how hard I try. But no, no, it's crazy because like the first Latin
I
American
believe
Pope, and you
in
picked a dude from Argentina, really? Come on. I mean, the guy before him was a Razzi Nazi. This guy, oh my God, he was raised as a
What?
Nazi. How did you make
yeah.
that man a Pope?
I'm
Um,
reading Liddell's comment. Donnie's always protecting white people. Like, and Noel will be so disappointed. I mean, Noel came from a HBCU, a school that's not technically valid. So,
Jesus Christ.
What? What did you
I
say?
I got I think we should end the
You said a
podcast
school
here.
that's not technically valid.
yeah, it goes back to
Oh
a
no.
So
previous
it has to
podcast.
be it has to be governed by white people according to in order for it to be valid.
Oh fuck, Donnie.
No, that's not
That's very
what
problematic.
that's not what I meant. It was an
So then, what
inside
did you
joke on
mean?
Out of Bounds podcast that dates back a couple of episodes ago.
Oh, we'll elaborate now.
Yeah. So basically, what was the school that Noah went to? We were having a discussion, and he told us his school name, and me and Liddell was like, "We never heard of that HBCU school, Fort
Fort
Valley
Valley
State."
State.
Yeah, so
Oh,
we
yeah,
never
I've heard
heard
of
of it.
Fort Valley.
So yeah, we were saying that it's not valid in the eyes of the black community, but it was a joke.
Oh,
I don't want to be canceled now. Like,
yeah, you was about to be real quick.
You are
The
walking a
swiftness,
Right, yeah, I was
fine
definitely walking that
line.
a
line.
fine line. The
Yeah,
line
bro.
was very thin and short.
Yeah, no, honestly, because if I ever come back to spirituality, since we were talking about religion, I feel like I go with Judaism, primarily because I learned last night if you convert to Judaism, you can get into Israel as a citizen.
I
And I'm
thought you
like,
were Jewish the first time
"But
I looked at you.
bro. Oh no, I'm descended from Jews. That's why
That's, that's what I thought.
they converted in the Inquisition. But
Interesting. And you went
Yeah, you
against.
have the nasally of a New York Jew too.
thanks. But thanks so much, man. I what does that mean? Liddell, you can choose. You can choose to edit that out over your own discretion. I feel like what was just said should be given to a higher power. Um, but as I was saying, yeah, you can like convert, go to Israel, and become a citizen real quick. And I just find that so dope because A, it's a way out of America. B, it's like Judaism's actually pretty cool for the most part. But yeah, well, feel free to edit that out if you for reasons.
No.
Yeah, well, it's up to Liddell. I don't know. Did, did she
Yeah,
really
that
say
was
you're
that was like
nasally like
borderline
you? I don't
cancel.
nasally. Oh, I think Joanne thinks everyone sounds like Fran Drescher from The Nanny, but in Queens they do. But yeah, okay. So
I
let's
mean,
end
you're
this pod.
not that far from Queens. You said that you're in the Bronx,
Uh,
right?
No, no, I'm not. I'm in Manhattan, but I'm close to the Bronx.
Yeah, that's not that far from Queens.
Oh, I like Queens. They have the best Chinese food. But
They do.
absolutely, no, it's the best Chinatown I've ever been to. It's
They have
crazy.
really good food in Queens, like regardless though.
Oh yeah, that too. There are a lot of Arabs in
Yeah, and
Queens there.
Italians that live over there.
Yeah, I'm kind of over Italian. I don't like Italian or Mexican food because it's like the same five ingredients in different dishes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like I love that.
I guess it's dependable. It's dependable. Well, anyways, thanks for watching our podcast, folks. Please like, share, and subscribe, and stop making Liddell hungry. In any case, I'll allow my co-panelists to plug in themselves and whatever they might be doing. Me, I'm just got to know our magic. There's nothing more to that. You can follow me if you like, but I have a day job and I'm not really an artist like my friends here are. Joanna, do you have anything you want to plug in?
Yes, I will be coming out with music soon, so follow me on my IG. It's in my name. I do follow back if the vibes are vibing. And yeah, that's if you're in the Florida, South Florida area, be on the lookout for me. I do local shows, and yeah, that's what I'm up to right
Dope. Donnie?
Yeah, you can follow me at Donnie. It's down below. Once the banner gets moved. Um, look out for me in the Philadelphia area for doing some spoken word. Actually, going to get up on stage and perform some stuff.
now. We'd love to see it.
Yeah, I'm
Dope.
like really scared.
All right.
What?
Okay, guys.
Okay.
Well, well, okay, now it shows up. Well, in any case, please like, share, and subscribe. We're on YouTube, Instagram, and also, and of course, our website. So please follow us now. Okay, take it away, Liddell.